Wow, guys, what's going on? So Jim Harbaugh today flew out to Minnesota. He ditched National Signing Day at Michigan. So you know what's going to happen now, guys, right? He basically said, like, screw Michigan, I'm going back to the NFL. Or instead of screw Michigan, because I guess that sounds mean to Michigan, it's thank you, Michigan. I had an unbelievable 7 years with you guys. I have an itch to get back to the NFL. I don't like that we're not able to compete with the University of Georgia. There might be something about the new NIL deals that I really don't like and how the landscape of college football is changing and that Texas A&M is paying so much money, but I'll never say that publicly. There's something that triggered Jim Harbaugh to go back to the NFL. And you know what the unfortunate thing is for Jim Harbaugh and both parties is that Kwesi Mensah and the Wirf family, I guess it's Wirf, W-R, the Wirf's family, they might not even take him in Minnesota. So, you know, you have a coach in Jim Harbaugh that was a very, very good NFL coach. Jim Harbaugh in San Francisco and Jed York kind of had a falling out, which is interesting in that, you know, the guy who worked for the San Francisco 49ers was Mensah, and Jed York gave him his first opportunity. So it's kind of two enemies here. Jim Harbaugh and Jed York had a falling out, and now Mensah, who is, you know, who used to work under Jed York, is now trying to hire Jim Harbaugh, and apparently there are reports that there's cold feet in Minnesota now on whether to pull the trigger with Jim Harbaugh. They still could have interest in Patrick Graham, you know, a guy that is, you know, a really good defensive coordinator that every game is pretty damn prepared for the Giants, and I think is going to make a good head coach too. So, I mean, for Jim Harbaugh, though, this was the point, is like, it's very awkward because he left on National Signing Day. So all the kids that were there at Michigan, he's nowhere to be found on National Signing Day. He's not having a press conference at Michigan. He left, okay? He left. He made up his mind, and he's gone. He's going to the NFL. Now, if he gets hired, it's one thing, but why would Michigan have back Jim Harbaugh? Because why would you have any success in recruiting in 2023 if Jim Harbaugh has 1 foot already out of Michigan? It doesn't really make any sense. I mean, Jim Harbaugh then should go and be a broadcaster and start preparing for his role in the NFL. He made up his mind on this. I think it was a tactical mistake by Jim Harbaugh in this instance, a disastrous mistake. And I don't root for it in that regard. I'm actually pulling for Jim Harbaugh to get the Vikings job, or else it's going to be an awful situation. But the point is, right, if you're a player committing to Michigan, you're committing to the school of Michigan. But Jim Harbaugh, put it this way, Jim Harbaugh is a larger-than-life figure, and he recruited these kids for years. I'm not saying it. Listen, Jim Harbaugh has the right, just like these kids do, to go wherever they'd like, to go to school wherever they'd like, to coach wherever they like. And now with the new transfer rules, it's great with kids going to school. My point is, though, if Jim Harbaugh ends up getting spurned by Minnesota, doesn't go there, how's he going to succeed at the University of Michigan? And if I'm the University of Michigan, I'm kind of like, hey, Jim, you told me that you were gone, man. You weren't here on signing day. And I'm promoting Josh Gattis right now for this year. Josh Gattis, coordinator, checks all the boxes. Let Josh run the show. All right, just like Marcus Freeman is now running the show for Notre Dame, Josh Gattis is going to run the show, okay? Josh Gattis was even older than Mike Macdonald, had more experience in college than Mike Macdonald. Josh Gattis should probably get that job, and it's probably going to be Josh Gattis versus Mel Tucker. It's so late in the game, I'm not sure. If Luke Fickell is the one guy that's like, wow, that's a home run hire. But I don't think Luke Fickell, who grew up hating Michigan, I don't think that that's a fit at all because he's an Ohio State guy. He's Ohio State born and bred. I don't think he's going to Michigan. Penn State, could Matt Rule go to Michigan? That would be, oh my gosh, could you imagine a swap of Matt Rule and Jim Harbaugh? But again, that entails a lot. So I guess if you're gone with Gattis too, then you just You cut the whole staff. You say, hey, Josh, go try to get a head coaching job, somewhere else, or try to be an OC somewhere. Because I'm sure Josh, he's probably thinks he's the heir apparent to Jim Harbaugh anyway at the University of Michigan. So the Michigan people, they need to, when you run an organization, you need to have a plan. Especially with someone who's as mobile as Jim Harbaugh, you need to have a plan in all of this. But if Jim Harbaugh decided he was going to Minnesota and he got bad information from the Vikings that he was the dead choice going to Minnesota, the hire should have been made already. All right, just like Steve Sarkisian, all right? Steve was at Alabama, all right, and I guess college, hirings are less public and easier, but the way that Texas got Steve Sarkisian, that was really, really smart, all right? They let go of Herman because Steve was signed, and bam, it was done. It was done. The way the Raiders got Josh McDaniel, Ziegler, McDaniel, finished. But Jim Harbaugh now, this is a damn mess. If Minnesota wasn't going to take you, Harbaugh, then I have no idea why you didn't just roll with J.J. McCarthy and roll with this great team, and why you had to go through this charade of interviewing to get a 50-50 chance at the NFL. Considering you haven't been in the NFL for a while, considering that, your offense at Michigan, your quarterback development wasn't even that great the last several years, okay? And the fact is that you do have baggage with, an NFL owner in Jed York and the 49ers, and that was an ugly, ugly breakup there with Trent Baalke. So it's tough. And as a college coach going into the NFL with the way that Matt Rule and Joe Judge, who was kind of a college guy, and then Urban Meyer, if you're going to compare coaches, Urban Meyer's resume is absolutely a million times better than Jim Harbaugh's. Urban Meyer's a national champion. I know Urban's a little bit older, but Urban is the ultimate college coach. Urban Meyer's the ultimate football coach. He's a Hall of Fame football coach, okay? Whether you like how Urban did it at Florida and liked how he did it at Jacksonville, the guy's a winner. And he did not work out in the National Football League. He did not work out, all right, in Jacksonville. It was not a fit. He's a college guy. So I know that Harbaugh, you can argue he was with the Niners, and he is different, I guess, because he did have some success there. So Vikings fans are hoping for it. But this is just a really awkward situation right now for Harbaugh. If I'm Michigan, honestly, I'm saying, Jim, thank you so much. Jim Harbaugh stepping down, resigning, going to pursue other opportunities. Because the fact that you're not there on signing day, it is just one of the weirder stories. And it's a crazy story now to monitor because this is signing day. You got to be all in. Look at Scott Frost. He's all in. Look at Shane Beamer. He's all in. PJ Fleck. You're either a college guy or you're not. And Jim Harbaugh's an NFL guy, and now Michigan is left in the dust, and it's a crazy, crazy situation.